Okay, so we are looking at question 1 on your maths sheet, and we're going to have a little look at how we solve the answer. So here we have Millennium Tech is a local gaming and device store. They have been in business for 2 years and are reviewing their sales and business model. They have lots of data from their accounts and have been asking customers what they need and how they would like to see their business grow. Now it is time to bring it all together and make some big business decisions. Here you see we have our question, and it says sales review. The data below comes from a review of all the devices sold over the last 3 years. It shows the sales of each device as a fraction of the whole amount. 1. Put the devices in order from most sales to fewest sales. Now here, most sales will talk about the largest numerator. We have smartphones are a quarter of all sales. Games consoles are 8/32. Tablets 3/16 of most sales, and laptops 2/16 of the total sales. And virtual reality headsets are 1/16 of total sales, and PCs are 1/8 of total sales. So now we can have a look at those fractions. We need to have a look to see what relationship the denominators have with each other. We can tell that the easiest way to get common denominators would be to look at some way to get the other fractions into sixteenths. So I'm going to highlight those sixteenths because I am hoping that we won't have to do anything with them. So we're going to start by looking at our quarter. Is there a way to get it to sixteenths? Well, we know that 4 times 4 equals 16. So we just do the same to the numerator as we do to the denominator. So we have here multiplied the 4 of the quarters by 4. We do the same to the top. And that will give us 4/16. So we have now got our quarter into sixteenths. We're going to look at our eighth. Well, we know that 8 times 2 is the same as 16. So we move our numerator along and we multiply it by the same coefficient of 2, and that will give us 2/16. So we've now made those two fractions at the top there, 1/4 and an eighth, into sixteenths to allow us to compare the fractions. Our final fraction is 8/32. If you're not sure how to handle this, a good way would be to find its factors, and I know that 2 times 16 is 32, so if we put it into our multiplication triangle, I can show you that 32 divided by 16 will be 2, and 32 divided by 2 will be 16. So we can then show that 32 divided by 2 is 16. And again, what we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. So we will do 8 divided by 2, giving us 4/16. We have now put all our fractions in sixteenths so that we can compare them. So our quarter became 4/16, and our eighth became 2/16, and our 8/32 became also 4/16. Now the question was asking us to put them in order from most sales to fewest sales. So we need to look at the largest numerator going to the smallest numerator, as the largest numerator showing 4/16 have been sold, so 4 parts of 16. So if I was to do it in a bar, you would have 4 of the 16, which is larger than 3/16, which is also larger than 2/16, and 1/16. So we're now going to put them in order, with starting with the quarter, which is the same as 4/16. Then we've got our 8/32, and then we've got our 3/16 here, and then we're looking at the 2/16. So let's pop in our 2/16 that was already in the form of 16 denominator, and then it was our, if you can see, our 1/8 that was equivalent to 2/16. And then finally our 1/16 is our final answer there. So in your box you will be able to see that the top sales were smartphones and games consoles, and then the next was tablets, and then laptops, and then PCs, and finally we've got virtual reality headsets.